In the entire history of the NBA Finals, exactly one team has ever climbed out of a 3-1 hole and won the title, the 2016 Cleveland Cavaliers. So if the Spurs are going to do it, there's only one blueprint that's ever worked, and we have it. Today we break down the 5 things that made the 2016 comeback possible, and check one by one whether this Spurs team actually has them. Here's the approach. The 2016 comeback wasn't a miracle out of nowhere. It had ingredients. A transcendent superstar, a real second star, a defensive anchor, an opponent that cracked, and the nerve to win on the road. We'll grade the Spurs on all 5. Some they have in spades, others they're flat out missing. Let's start with what Cleveland actually did. This is Game is Culture. If you like history used to explain the present, hit subscribe. We're chasing 1,000, it's free, and it genuinely helps. Now, what Cleveland pulled off. What the 2016 Cavs did. Set the scene. The 2016 Warriors had just gone 73-9, the best regular season in league history. They led the finals 3-1, and then Cleveland won 3 straight, including Game 7 in Oakland, 93-89 on the road. It remains the only 3-1 comeback in finals history, and it ended a 52-year title drought for the city. And it was carried by one of the greatest individual stretches ever. Over the final 3 games, LeBron James went for 41, 41, and then a 27, 11, and 11 triple-double in Game 7. That's roughly 36 points, 12 rebounds, and 10 assists a night with the season on the line. He led both teams in points, rebounds, assists, steals, and blocks for the entire series. The first player ever to do that. Ingredient 1, the superstar. The first ingredient is a transcendent superstar, and good news for San Antonio, they have one. Put LeBron's 2016 closing run next to Wembanyama's finals so far. 36, 12, and 10 for LeBron. 28, 10.5, and over 3 blocks for Wemby. Different shapes, but both are the unquestioned fulcrum their team runs through. On the headline ingredient, the Spurs check the box. And in one way, Wembanyama gives the Spurs something even the 2016 Cavs didn't have. A true rim-protecting monster. We'll come back to that, because it's a real edge. But the point stands. If a 3-1 comeback requires a singular force at the top, San Antonio has a worthy one. That's ingredient 1. Checked. Ingredient 2. The second star. Here's where it gets hard. LeBron didn't do it alone. Kyrie Irving was a genuine second star. He matched LeBron with 41 points of his own in Game 5. The first pair of teammates to each score 40 in a finals game. And then Kyrie hit the dagger, the go-ahead 3 over Steph Curry in the final minute of Game 7. A comeback this big needs a second guy who can take and make the biggest shot. And this is the Spurs' biggest problem. Who is their Kyrie? They have promising pieces. Stephon Castle runs the offense. De'Aaron Fox can score, but neither has been a proven take-over-the-finals second option the way Kyrie was. San Antonio is leaning almost everything on Wembanyama. The 2016 Cavs had 2 stars trading haymakers. These Spurs, so far, have 1. That's a missing ingredient. Now, to be fair to the roster, it isn't a total one-man show. Behind Wembanyama, Stephon Castle has averaged almost 17 points this series, including a 23-point night, and De'Aaron Fox has chipped in around 14. That's genuine secondary scoring. 2 young, talented guards who can create. So the problem isn't a lack of help. It's that the help is young and streaky. Fox had a 7 and a 12-point game in this series, and neither has yet proven he can be the guy who closes a finals game when Wembanyama gets swarmed. Real support, but not a co-star. Ingredient 3, a defensive anchor. Now the ingredient that swings back to the Spurs. The 2016 Cavs ramped up their defense, capped by LeBron's iconic chase-down block in Game 7. But these Spurs have something more permanent. Wembanyama is a generational rim protector, swatting over 3 shots a game this series. If defense and stops win the back half of a series, San Antonio's anchor is arguably better than what Cleveland had. Edge, Spurs.
Ingredient 4. The opponent has to crack.
This is the one nobody likes to mention. The 2016 Warriors cracked. Draymond Green was suspended for Game 5 over accumulated flagrant points, right as the series flipped. Their center was banged up. The greatest regular season team ever was compromised at the worst possible time, and Cleveland pounced. Comebacks this rare usually need the favorite to lose a piece. The Spurs have gotten no such gift. Because the Knicks are healthy, and they just showed the opposite of cracking. They erased a 29-point deficit to win Game 4, the largest comeback in finals history. That's a team with championship nerve, not one about to fold. So unless something changes, the Spurs have to climb this hill against a full-strength, fearless opponent. That's harder than what even Cleveland faced. Ingredient 5, the road math. Here's a twist in the Spurs' favor. The 2016 Cavs had to win Game 5 and Game 7 on the road, in Oakland, the hardest possible path. The Spurs don't. Their Game 7 would be at home in San Antonio. On paper, that's an easier finish than Cleveland's. The catch, and it's a big one. The Spurs are 0-2 at home this series. They get the friendlier schedule, but they have to suddenly start protecting a floor that's betrayed them. The verdict. So tally the blueprint. Superstar? Checked. Wembanyama is the man. Defensive anchor? Edge Spurs. That's a plus. Game 7 at home, a structural advantage Cleveland never had. But the second star? Missing. And the cracked opponent? Missing. The Knicks look bulletproof. 3 boxes checked, 2 of the most important ones empty. That's the honest scorecard. So let's answer the question straight. Do the Spurs have the roster and the stars to do this? Half yes. They have a superstar in Wembanyama, a deep, talented, elite defense, and real young secondary scoring in Castle and Fox. What they don't have is a second star who can take over a finals game or a vulnerable opponent. And that's exactly why our model lands at around 12%, not 30%. The talent to win any single game? Absolutely. The closing star power to win 3 straight against a fearless Knicks team? Probably not quite. Wembanyama would have to be even more of a one-man army than LeBron was. So that's the blueprint and the verdict. The Spurs have the superstar and the defense. What they don't have is a Kyrie or a suspended Draymond to help them. For this to work, Wembanyama would have to author a comeback even more single-handed than the only one that's ever happened. So you tell me, can Wemby be 2016 LeBron without a second star? Drop it below and subscribe to see if he pulls it off.